interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent right before each video that we do here on Hip Hop News Uncensored, email us right now at advertise@hiphopun.com. That's advertise@hiphopun.com. Get your brand, get your business, get your talent in front of millions of people right now. Email advertise@hiphopun.com.
Bad boys moving silence. Remember that.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Let's talk about the Nipsey. Nipsey today. We'll start with the first portion of it. He received his star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame, I think it's called. And notoriously, I guess it's for like movie stars and things like that mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of music people on there, maybe.
I think Snoop's on there, but he also he did a
couple
Snoop,
other things.
You know what I mean?
Nipsey got his today. The whole family was out there. Lauren London made a beautiful speech. But a lot of people, when you look at different comments and things, were saying he didn't deserve that star on the Walk of Fame. What's your thoughts?
This is a tough one because I rock with Nipsey. Always have, always will. And you watch any of our shows, you can see that. But I kind of agree with them. I don't know if Nipsey has put in enough work to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, has he put in work for his city? Has he put in work for his community? Has he put in work for his culture?
Right.
Absolutely. But when you think about a star on the Walk of Fame, I mean, it's just a star. Some people really want it. Some people don't give a fuck. But you look at the names on there, it's a body of work that has gone on for decades on end. Even a Snoop, I just brought Snoop up.
Yeah.
Snoop been in the game for 30 years. Snoop's been on #1 albums. Snoop's been on world tours. Snoop's been on movies. Snoop has done the thing to where his brand is iconic to where you would say, okay, he deserves that. I think that the reason why Nipsey is receiving it is because he passed away, and I don't think that's a good enough reason to gain an accolade such as that, in my opinion.
Nah, I mean, you keeping it real.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get mad at somebody's opinion. I agree, though. I definitely, what happens is, man, and I think he's deserving of everything else mainly that he got, music accolades and things like that. I think he was an up-and-coming star, and, he meant a lot to his community. Nobody could take that away from him, you know what I mean? But as far as that, to me, it's just like they just did it, like you said, because the man... he died, and it could bring a lot more publicity.
Yep.
It's a big event now. We put Nipsey on there, and so it's just like, and essentially, he's being used. Even though I'm sure, his family, Lauren, and all of them are happy for him. I'm not trying to take away from none of that, but I think they're just using his death, to bring more attention to their whole little thing they got going, man. And then, I guess I have to look into more the criteria of who gets it, but from the people I see that gets it, like you said, a little bit more that goes into just making a few records.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And being killed and, being pretty much being turned into a martyr, for what you did. So that's just, we got to keep it real, man. And, and everybody knows we love Nipsey.
Yeah.
We have been nothing but champion Nipsey's cause, fighting for Nipsey the whole time since he's been passed away.
Yep.
We know a couple people that are very, very close to Nipsey. So it's no disrespect, but we just kind of calling it for what it is with that whole situation.
I think it's a slap in the face to his legacy that he receives all these roses now that he's dead,
right?
And didn't get to appreciate them when he was alive. He was doing so much for the community that they could have done something on a smaller level for him while he was here. They could have, it could have been more done for him while he was here, but you do this kind of sideways thing, and it's almost like you loved him when you really didn't. Nipsey didn't get that much love when it came to outside of his community in LA. Right. He had problems with the LAPD. He had problems with the local government. They really didn't look at him and see him as a Hollywood icon. They looked at him as a criminal, and that's why they was sitting there bothering him every fucking 5 minutes while he was alive. So it almost looks kind of tasteless and corny from this point of view. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at it from a real point of view.
Yeah.
That you give it to him in death, and you celebrate him now that he's no longer here because you know how popular he is in death. It just looks fake and unauthentic to us.
Yeah, can't add nothing to that, man. Definitely if knock that one, out of the park. The second part to the story, though, man, I think... So Nipsey, Game put out an album, right? I never heard the whole album yet. I'll probably take a listen to it. Right. He had a song with Nipsey on there, and it came to my attention that Black Sam got the song taken off, which is different. Before I let you talk about that, it's like back in the day that wouldn't be able to happen because the CDs would be out there. But now since everything's digital, you can just snatch it off. But right. So talk about that, man. The whole backstory.
All right, so I think it was number song 28 or something like that. The Game's album. He was supposed to have a feature with Nip. Everything went through. Everything was cleared. It was about to release, and then Whack 100 got a email from his lawyer stating that Black Sam cut that shit off, put it to a halt. Whack 100 obviously wasn't happy about it. He said that it was a selfish move. Why would he do that to Game when Game has been one of Nipsey's biggest supporters? Why wouldn't he allow Nipsey's fan base to go ahead and still enjoy Nipsey's legacy by consuming some of his music? He went on to say that Nipsey had, that he knows of, at least 80 unreleased songs that Black Sam is just sitting on. He just wasn't happy about Black Sam's business increment when it came to Nipsey Hussle's music and his catalog. Made some good points as a music exec, but at the end of the day, and on the other side, I can understand Black Sam's side too.
Yeah.
Well, what you think about that, Big Dog?
I kind of, I look at this thing at both sides, and I agree with Wack to a certain extent about the whole Game relationship, but that's where it stops. Like Game, obviously, I think Game really loved this dude because when Nipsey was alive and they got the song together,
it was love.
Yeah, and it's like Nipsey ran up to him or whatever, try to give him the tape. So I think it was always, like you said, love there. But I think Wack 100, I think he made the situation difficult when he said the things that he said about Nipsey, whether it was, behind the scenes that went public or some of the things that he was saying about the whole him. And that was just his opinion. He was pretty much saying he don't think Nipsey, was a legend or something like that at the point or something like until after he died, I think. Right. If I'm wrong, people will correct me. But, that's why I think, and it's almost like, damn, dog, it's like, that your artist, your homie, because it goes beyond artist, your homie Game is good with him. Why say anything even remotely controversial about him, even if asked? You know what I mean? Because their relationship. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think things are messed up at, and I don't blame Black Sam. I'm saying, fuck that. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've been all in this different drama. Anything that has to do with my brother, it's been your name in it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm hearing your name. You're talking about this. You're talking about this with my brother. And maybe they never really rock with Wack like that in the first place. You know what I mean? So, and then why didn't the Game stand up and say anything? Whether it be behind the scenes, in public, you got to check your mans. He's like, yo, you can't never make somebody say anything, but like, dog, that's kind of my mans. It's looking fucked up in the public.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm connected to you, people want me to. I'm not going to ever come at you in the public.
Right.
But it's like, just kind of fall back a little bit off that. Whatever way you got to say it to your homie.
Right.
Like, that's my man's a little bit. Like, we got a relationship. He's dead. Because you're connected to me. I don't want anything to be construed like I'm taking a shot or disrespecting Nipsey. If he can respect it, if not, it's not, whatever. I mean, I don't think that I mess with his friendship or like that, but you respect it or you don't. That's why I think with the whole situation.
And it could be like that because, like, all right, I got a friend that you don't fuck with, but
right.
Everybody knows publicly that me and him rock together, but you sitting there on Hip Hop Uncensored destroying this dude.
Right.
After me and him just hung out. It almost puts me in that box of association and it makes our shit look kind of wavy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with the Game, you would have hoped that, and not that they had to go and beef publicly, but you would have hoped that that shit was deaded early.
Right.
And nobody stop Wack from saying whatever the fuck he wants. He's a grown man, he can say what he want. But you would hope that something along the lines of that came around so that it kind of strengthened the base and looked like, that's my people, and I know y'all don't fuck with each other, I'm not asking you to. But do me a favor, do me a solid. Don't get on Clubhouse saying all this wild shit. Don't get on these phone calls saying that you have this and that tape. Just cut that shit out.
Why are you telling niggas that?
Just cut that out, because that seems kind of crazy, and that makes me look crazy, right? Now let me talk about Black Sam, because I understand him. I just hope that in this situation, because and it's justifiable, his head, his heart, and everything is playing a role in this. His brother fucking got murdered.
Yeah.
And we had to watch it. And then he had to deal with it day by day and hear all this wild shit. So it's hard not to take things personal. Yeah. But on a business level, and you still taking care of the Marathon Clothing, the Marathon Dispensary, and your Marathon is you, right? But if he has music out here, and we don't know what he's trying to do, but you would hope that that music gets to see the light of day at some point, because Wack does make a good point in the fans and the culture would like that and enjoy it, and I think it would help. But if he's taking things personally, that may block some things. So I can understand the Game aspect of it. You not wanting to fuck with Wack, I understand that. But hopefully your mindset isn't to where you feeling so personal that you don't ever decide that it's okay never to release any of the music. Because I know I would love to hear the music. Not that we deserve it, but it would be dope to hear if it's shit's ready to go and ready to rock. And I hope the personal part of that side. Maybe Black Sam is disgusted with the industry altogether. Maybe he feels like the industry is one of the reasons why his brother's no longer here. Who knows? But I would just, I just want to see some of the music come out eventually.
I think
not
on
Wax time, but eventually.
I think by you saying that, I think it has to be something more deeper, because it makes every sense business for him to put the song out. It may be something we don't know. Black Sam ain't gonna come out and say it about the Game. and Wack, or either one of them or both of them,
right?
That we may not know behind the scenes where he did what he did. Maybe we'll never know. So I kind of just leave it there. But you know, yeah, you know, with limited information, we really can't really go there. But what we do know, we can talk about it, and that's what we did, man.